Victory belongs to the most persevering. Success is the most convincing talker in the world. It is only by prudence, wisdom, and dexterity that great ends are attained and obstacles overcome. Without these qualities, nothing succeeds. 10 people who speak make more noise than 10,000 who are silent. Courage isn't having the strength to go on. It is going on when you don't have strength. If you want a thing done well, do it yourself. I have seen in the most significant of circumstances that some little thing always decides great events. It's the unconquerable soul of man, and not the nature of the weapon he uses, that ensures victory. Throw off your worries when you throw off your clothes at night. History is written by the winners. The truest wisdom is a resolute determination. Until you spread your wings, you'll have no idea how far you can fly. Success is the most convincing talker in the world. The world suffers a lot, not because of the violence of bad people, but because of the silence of the good people. Imagination governs the world. Ability is of little account without opportunity. We are made weak both by idleness and distrust of ourselves. Unfortunate indeed is he who suffers from both. If he is a mere individual, he becomes nothing. If he is a king, he is lost. One must change one's tactics every 10 years if one wishes to maintain one's superiority. The greater the man, the less is he opinionative. He depends upon events and circumstances. There is one kind of robber whom the law does not strike at, and who steals what is most precious to men: time. The best cure for the body is a quiet mind. There are but two powers in the world, the sword and the mind. In the long run, the sword is always beaten by the mind. Men take only their needs into consideration, never their abilities. Nothing is more difficult and therefore more precious than to be able to decide. Take time to deliberate, but when the time for action comes, stop thinking and go in. The reason most people fail instead of succeed is they trade what they want most for what they want at the moment. Death is nothing, but to live defeated and inglorious is to die daily. As a rule, it is circumstances that make men. Courage cannot be counterfeited. It is one virtue that escapes hypocrisy. Space I can recover, time never. The battlefield is a scene of constant chaos. The winner will be the one who controls that chaos, both his own and the enemy's. I make my battle plans from the spirit of my sleeping soldiers. We are waging war as generous enemies, and we wish only to crush the tyrants who enslave you. You don't reason with intellectuals, you shoot them. Soldiers generally win battles. Generals get credit for them. A throne is only a bench covered with velvet. The army is the true nobility of our country. I saw the crown of France laying on the ground, so I picked it up with my sword. Power is my mistress. I have worked too hard at her conquest to allow anyone to take her away from me. I love power like a musician loves music. You become strong by defying defeat and by turning loss and failure into success. Always carry champagne. In victory, you deserve it, and in defeat, you need it. Those who receive the most images into their memories have the most lively imaginations. Never interrupt your enemy when he is making a mistake. Skepticism is a virtue in history as well as in philosophy. The greatest danger occurs at the moment of victory. I start out by believing the worst. Never depend on the multitude, full of instability and whims. Always take precautions against it. The best way to keep one's word is not to give it. When you have an enemy in your power, deprive him of the means of ever injuring you. You must not fight too often with one enemy, or you will teach him all your art of war. There are only two forces that unite men: fear and interest. Religion is excellent stuff for keeping common people quiet. Religion is what keeps the poor from murdering the rich. Let France have good mothers, and she will have good sons. The future destiny of a child is always the work of the mother. One should never forbid what one lacks the power to prevent. The surest way to remain poor is to be an honest man. The great proof of madness is the disproportion of one's designs to one's means. True character stands the test of emergencies. Do not be mistaken. It is weakness from which the awakening is rude. The French complain of everything and always. Show me a family of readers, and I will show you the people who move the world. A woman laughing is a woman conquered. The poor man and the beggar are two quite different classes. One commands respect, the other arouses anger. Friends must always be treated as if one day they might be enemies. It is the cause, not the death, that makes the martyr. The hand that gives is among the hand that takes. Money has no fatherland. Financiers are without patriotism and without decency. Their sole object is gain. Courage is like love, it must have hope for nourishment. 4 hostile newspapers are more to be feared than 1,000 bayonets. Ordinarily, men exercise their memory much more than their judgment. I know he's a good general, but is he lucky? I am surrounded by priests who repeat incessantly that their kingdom is not of this world, and yet they lay hands on everything they can get. It is astonishing what power words have over men. The fool has one great advantage over a man of sense. He is always satisfied with himself. History is the version of past events that people have decided to agree upon. To understand the man, you have to know what was happening in the world when he was 20. You medical people will have more lives to answer for in the other world than even we generals. If we could read the past histories of all our enemies, we would disregard all hostility for them. Men are more easily governed through their vices than through their virtues. It requires more courage to suffer than to die. He who knows how to flatter also knows how to slander. One must learn to forgive and not to hold a hostile, bitter attitude of mind, which offends those about us and prevents us from enjoying ourselves. One must recognize human shortcomings and adjust himself to them rather than to be constantly finding fault with them. If you wish to be a success in the world, promise everything, deliver nothing. It is a mistake, too, to say that the face is the mirror of the soul. The truth is, men are very hard to know, and yet, not to be deceived, we must judge them by their present actions, but for the present only. The strong man is the one who is able to intercept at will the communication between the senses and the mind. Impossible is the word found only in a fool's dictionary. Wise people create opportunities for themselves and make everything possible. Friends, how did you like the video? Let me know by commenting and like the video and subscribe to my channel. Every upcoming video can reach you easily.